Welcome to one of my favorite spots here in Norway. We're up in the mountains, just technically north of Jotunheimen, one of the big national parks in Norway. And I'm sitting in front of a gushing waterfall. I'll just try to let you see it so I go out. It's one of the waterfalls that we go to when we run retreats in this area to fully immerse ourselves in one of the qualities of water, which is movement, which is purification and cleansing, resetting. And a powerful part of the waters of this area is that they have water in them from the glaciers and are really old waters. So they hold a lot of information, and when we connect that deeply with the waters, something happens that's unexplainable. It's like we get a moment out of our personality experience, and we get to just feel the timelessness of our being in a flash. And it's just so beautiful and rich. I'm sitting here with some cacao, almost done. And I'm delighted to talk to you today as I am on the cusp of shifting my work from being established for the last 8 years in Guatemala. Those of you who know me and know Sounds of Light, and for that Yoga of Sound and Chocolate, know that it's been a base and a home for my work for many years. And the last years, my guides have been telling me ever so gently that it's time to look for new fields of physical fields to anchor the work in. And since my ancestry is more from the Scandinavian realms, I started searching, and I got guided up here in the mountains in Norway. And this is one of the most magical places on earth for me personally. I get very activated and alive and bright and connected to my heart, my body, to the earth. And I get a real strong mirror on where am I with myself, and where am I in my cycle of life, the general arc of my life as a soul and body, but also where am I in my winter, spring, summer, fall cycle? Like, what's dying, what wants to be still, what wants to be seeded, what wants to blossom. And so it's just an amazing space for me to rest into, and I've been inviting groups for that experience over the last 2 years. And the reason why I'm shooting this video here is that, first of all, you can get a sense of the frequency of this place, which is just incredible. And I also want to just name that I, starting June 2024, am launching a 4-module, week-long module training called Elemental Sound Healing Practitioner and Facilitator Training, which is going to be an upgraded and alchemized offering, still anchored in the mystery school traditions of ancient Egypt, of the shamanic lineages of Tibet, and a whole range of non-dogmatic approaches to sound. But the new part is that, and the reason why I'm shooting this video today, is that there's been something missing in my work and in my life, which is a deeply rooted ground to which I can transmit from which I can transmit my work. I, like many others, are on this quest of like, how do we live this life? And how do we stay in balance and at peace and in harmony when so much is going on in our lives and our world? And one of the things I've noticed over the years is that I am out of touch with the cyclical nature of the seasons. So I don't allow myself to have a real winter where I drop into stillness. And before that, I don't allow myself to have a fall where I really get in touch with what wants to compost from the year that's passed, what wants to die, what wants to be let go of deeply, so there can be space for new life. And when spring comes, what seeds am I then planting in that fertile soil that I've been cultivating through fall and winter? And then when summer comes, I can harvest the fruits of all that work, and I can be in my highest energy. And I started noticing this a couple of years ago, that my groups and the groups I held space for, especially in the summers, instead of being in their highest expression, their highest vitality, and their absolute most stunning radiance, just like a flower that blooms and at that epic peak of its existence, people would just get in touch with how exhausted they were and how much they needed to rest, because they didn't have a fall where they really let things go and let things die, and they didn't take time to rest in winter, which is the natural cycle of life. And so they didn't plant seeds in the spring, and they couldn't harvest that in summer. They were trying to have their fall and winter, their grief cycle and their death cycle and their rest cycle in summer, when they should be having the very opposite energetic expression. And I realized this was true for myself as well, having worked many years in opposition to my natural ancestral cycle, which is I'm a man of the north, as you can tell, blonde hair, blue eyes. I belong to these lands. These lands have their own cycle that is resonating and vibrating in my bones and in my DNA. Yet I've been going against the stream of that by working all year round. I would work in Guatemala in my winter, which is this summer and spring in Guatemala. And when it was my summer, I would also be working hard. So I was burning the candle at too many ends at the same time. Too much fire has led to a systemic exhaustion in my system, where I'm beginning to catch up with years of exhaustion and years of fatigue and years of, let's say, backlogged stuff that needed to die and let go of. And I realize, of course, when I offer work in the world, that foundation of imbalance is the container through which I transmit my work. And so, in true integrity, I am not really taking care of my my broadcasting vehicle through which my work is expressed. And that gets transmitted to other people. Now, what would it be like if I was truly in harmony and in balance with the cyclical nature that I am born through? And that curiosity has led me to a quest to birth a new program for people who want to work with sound as a healing modality. But in general, for anyone who wants to come into deeper attunement with their natural cycles, deeper attunement with the natural shifts and movements in nature, and using nature and the cyclical essence of nature as a teacher to grow and expand and to get a real deep mirror of where am I in life and what wants to die, what wants to rest, what wants to be planted, and what wants to be harvested. And once we, as a sound healer or a sound practitioner or a whatever form working with sound has for you, when you start having a deeper balance inside, your work is going to have a clearer container, a clearer channel to transmit through. And you become just by being a deeper declaration of love and peace and harmony into the world, which is what we really need. We need people who are deeply balanced and harmonized within and at deep peace, so that when they meet the world and when we meet the world, we express that through every step, through every word, through every action. And so this is deep activism, a deep way of how can I create peace on earth by offering more peace to myself, more balance, more harmony. So I've created a program that's starting in June next year, where you from June and then in August and then in October and then in January we'll go through a spring, a summer, a fall and a winter as a foundational platform for diving deep into the power of sound, opening your voice, learning how to use sound and music as a healing modality for yourself and for others. And there'll be a transformational path of you being immersed in an environment that goes through those cycles. So you will literally get an attunement from nature and the elementals and the elements on these lands. Because of course spring and summer and autumn and winter here are radically different. In winter, it's almost inaccessible to be here, and it's white snow, quiet landscape that encourages integration and rest. And in the fall, there's no green, it's all red and brown, and there's a decomposition happening. Things is dying. And then of course in summer, the blueberries are out. I've been munching blueberries all morning. Everything is bright and shiny. And in the spring, the snow is still melting, and you can feel the life force pushing through the snow, through plants and edibles, through the soil. And there's a radical difference in the frequency of these different cycles. And once we allow ourselves to be exposed to that, we get harmonized by nature. And we learn the deep power of the medicine of nature as a tool in our own tool belt to bring that to people who really long for deeper peace, deeper harmony, deeper balance in their life. So it's birthing a new ecology for sound healers, a new platform through which we can offer our work into the world, which starts with really taking our own own harmony, our own inner harmonics, inner frequency realm, taking it serious and becoming deeper and more deeply attuned with our own inner rhythm and the rhythm of nature. We will still be teaching you very specific techniques to open your voice. We will still transmit all the ancestral practices from ancient Egypt, from Tibet, from different traditions. We will still dive deep into using sound to create fields that harmonize, regulate groups, that allow groups to express their aliveness, that allow groups to upgrade and up-level, that allow groups to deeper connect through intimacy, using sound and music as a language through which groups can become more attuned to what really wants to happen. You will learn how to work with instruments, you will learn how to work with your voice on others, but through that process, because it's going from June all the way through January, you will have this opportunity to move in life through these cycles and harmonize. So when you come through the other end, you will have gone through a deep personal healing and transformation that you can, you will arrive at a totally new frequency and harmonic through which you can broadcast your work in a totally different way than if I just had you for 2 or 3 weeks, which has been my standard deep dive, 3 weeks, intense initiation containers, which I may offer in the future. But for now, I am excited to dive deeper into this cyclical program where nature leads and guides us into deeper connection, both as a group, both within, but also learning through the elemental beings that are here on these lands. And now I'm going to say something that you may have heard as a child, but the unseen world of the dragons, the fairies, the sylphs, the water beings, the nagas, the giants, this is called Jotunheimen, the Park of the Giants. And in our training, we have people who didn't lose their ability to sense, feel, and see the unseen world. All the elemental beings that are here guiding us, that are wanting us to wake up to our power as human beings, but also will guide us through deeper connection with our own sound, our own voice, and transmit the elemental frequencies of water, of fire, of air, of earth and space through our sound, through our voice, through our music. And so it's a really, really exciting moment for me to share this with you, and I will continue sharing it. And there's so much more to say and share. But for now, I just want to give you a little glimpse of the landscape here, so you may feel a little bit what I'm feeling sitting here on this amazing land. The waterfall and the river bringing down the glacial waters, and up here we have Solegi. Yeah, welcome to my my home, away from home. I feel so connected and attuned here, and I can't wait to invite you on a deep, passionate lovemaking with these elements. To be here in spring, to be here in summer, to be here in autumn, and to be here in winter will deeply touch us and deeply transform us, and we will be infused by all of the magic and the medicine of the cycles of this place and the ecology of the plants, of the spirits of this land. And through this process, we will become more of who we truly are, and our authentic aliveness will burst out of our being. So thank you for staying for this almost 20-minute transmission. I love you. And if this resonates, or you're like, wow, there's something about the frequency here or the energy that really pulls me in, you've always wanted to work with sound, or you're just longing for more balance, peace, and harmony in life, and you resonate with sound healing, and you resonate with being out in nature, you resonate with letting nature open you, I recommend you reaching out. We are finalizing the dates, the prices, the whole structure of the program. But we just want to let you know that this is happening, and it's coming, and it's brewing, and it's really, really, really juicy. Sending much love from Solegen and Jotunheimen. Until we see each other again. Peace.